What's going on, guys? Decoration Dude here. Today I have a pretty neat video on this Gemmy 2008 life-size mummy. This is one I picked up off Facebook a couple weeks ago, and really the only reason I went to go get this guy was because the seller claimed it was in perfect working condition. It was well taken care of. As you can see, that's not exactly the case, and I found that out very fast when I went to go pick it up. But in the original listing, there was no picture of the item itself. It was just a box. And it was like, just a close-up picture like this. So you couldn't really see what condition the box was in either. The box is pretty beat up, unfortunately. But I do have to say I am a pretty big fan of this style Gemmy box with like the black cardboard. And then these are almost like cardboard. Little, I don't know what you'd call them. I guess little posters. I don't know. What's cool about this one is the top has it too. When I got it, this flap was completely ripped off, so I kind of tried to fix it up with tape as best I could. And then inside the box, there is one of the original inserts. Now, like I said, when I got this guy, he was in pretty rough shape. He was like extremely filthy. I had to clean him up. And as you can see, he has some heat damage. His face is pretty yellowed. I don't think it should be this dark. The eyes are also kind of faded and stuff and yellowed, and it makes it hard to see the eyes light up. You can see them fine if the lights are off, but the lights are on. It's definitely a lot harder to see it just because of, the yellowing of the plastic and stuff. And I'm assuming this guy was kept in the garage. And, matter of fact, they actually did tell me they stored this guy in a garage, which sucks. But I mean, he's here. I have him. I do plan on using him this year. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him as far as after the Halloween season. I will probably end up selling him. But in general, I've just never had really good luck with these mummies. The first one I owned was actually a Target variant, and it was like it had a white box, and it just had like the same picture on the front, but it was like the Target theming or whatever. It wasn't like the typical green. I guess you can call it kind of like a smoky texture. But I had that one, and that one actually had the thicker shoulders. It had like a whole bunch of foam on his like chest and his shoulders, and it made him look weird. It kind of made him look like a football player, but then he had like really skinny like torso and legs. It looks very odd. Honestly, I prefer this one over that one just because it looks more like a mummy. That one was actually, the Target one I was talking about was actually completely fried. The board was like burnt up and there was components blown. And to me, that just wasn't worth the time or effort to fix, so I ended up selling it for parts, and that was a while ago. And then I think this was last year, a light up mummy popped up on Facebook, and that's the version I actually really do want. If I could get a light up mummy, that would be cool. But I got to the house to pick it up, and it was sitting on the front porch, and I go up to it, and I'm like, you know what? Before I decide to like give them the money or anything, or put the money under the doormat, I'm just gonna give it an inspection. And I start like taking it apart, looking in the inside, and I'm glad I did because it looked like mice were up in it. There was all the wires for the lighting were completely chewed. The board was just like my Target mummy. It was like burnt up and components were blown. And it was extremely dirty. Like I said, all the wires were pretty much non-existent. They were chewed to pretty much nothing. And then there was also brown recluse spiders on it. And if you don't know about brown recluse spiders, it's more of like a Midwest thing. If you don't know about them, lucky you. I hate brown recluse spiders. It's a spider that has like a venomous bite, and if you get bit by them, it won't kill you necessarily. I mean, it could if you don't get it treated, and it's pretty severe. And everyone reacts to them differently, but they're pretty toxic, and they don't make webs. What they do is they will get into your stuff, especially cardboard stuff. They will get into your stuff, and they will never leave. And so that's why I hate them, because if you got them, it's a huge problem. And I've been super, super fortunate to not have run into a brown recluse problem with my collection. But yeah, anyways, that was kind of off topic, so I do apologize. But this is the mummy. I was also kind of terrified that this one would have spiders in it too, but luckily it didn't. Also, the eyes did not move or light up when I got it. It did end up being a board issue with this one too. And it wasn't anything crazy. I think the board was just too dirty. After I opened it up and kind of lightly, very carefully dusted off the board, he started working fine again. I put him back together and he wasn't working. So I did the same thing again. Then he started working again, and he's been working since. So I'm hopeful he'll just continue to keep working. If not, it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, I'm not that attached to this piece. But another interesting thing is I thought that the board on this guy would be relatively simple with just a few, typical Gemmy components, but no, it actually has micro components, which is like a whole new ball game. Those are a lot more difficult to work with. But without further ado, I will go ahead and plug him in and demo him. The camera is picking up the lights and the eyes a lot better than I thought it would actually. So that's enough of the mummy. Now, there is a lot of different versions of these Gemmy mummies, and if you've never had one, it's actually kind of cool. It's like one giant blow mold piece, and it's not like a collapsible. It's actually just two pieces, and you set them on top of each other, and then you clip them down. There's a clip on the front, and there's one on the back. Now, like I was saying, there's a whole bunch of different versions. There's like the Target variant, like I was talking about. I think Target also had a lighted version, but it had like strobe lights in it. That one's cool, but I like the incandescent lighted one better. There's a female mummy. There's a mummy that was sold at BJ's that moves its head, which that one's really cool. I would like to have that one. And then, there's this typical, like, standard mummy was sold a whole bunch of different years. And there's also a version that doesn't have a black base, and it's just the feet, which I think it's actually one that's featured on this box. But then on like the easy storage picture here, there's one with the black base. But yeah, there's a lot of different versions of this guy, and like I said, I'd like to have the lighted version or maybe the head turning variant that was sold at BJ's, but that one's really hard to come by. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thanks for watching.